Hello, hello, test, test, test. Hello, hello. It is the lovely Wondermellow. I hope you're having a lovely day today. We're just gonna go and send off those notifications about being live and get into today's deep dive. I just realized that rhymed. Yes. Right. There we go. But yes, welcome everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day. My name is Wondermellow. You can tell me Professor Wonder if you like as well. And I'm going to be going and talking about MOSAIC.WAV today. It's one of my favorite bands, music units, and they're super cool. Super welcome. Hope you're having a lovely time. But yeah, it's gonna be good, and I look forward to going along this journey with me. All right, so let's get right into it. Right into the AKIBerse. All right, so you may say, I heard of this MOSAIC.WAV thing. What's a MOSAIC.WAV? Now, you may have heard of it already through a few things, but let's get into it first and foremost. I'm going to go and find, this is my first time doing anything like this, so we're gonna probably have scuff, but that's all right. So MOSAIC.WAV consists of Kayamori Susumu, who usually does like the composition and instrumental, and then Nico, who does the is the vocalist of the band. So she does a lot of like anime song and like denpa. So they've actually started creating music in all the way back in about 2003, 2004 officially, when their first CD went out. But if you think, oh, maybe I didn't hear of this unit before, maybe you actually have, because let me go and pause the BGM that we have right now. You may have just heard of one of their songs without realizing it, that it was this legendary Akiba-Pop unit. So let's show you some of the things you may have seen. So, especially with the Western audience, I feel like this is going to be your most recent exposure, the very AKIBerse. So, of course, Miss Pomu Rainpuff went and released this right now near her graduation of the MV. The original song was in 2023 during 3D Live, and then she did the MV, which was 2024 in January of last year. So it's a really fun song, and of course always talking about Akiba, Moe, different types of thing in Akiba. And then another song that is a little bit before of this time that you may have heard of without even realizing what it was a Nico Douga melody classic, Gacha Q. So the original one that was compiled by Shimo on Nico Douga in 2007 about doesn't have any vocals, but generally from what I've seen, especially within the Western audience, you're probably more so used to seeing the one cover, and that just generally has the most spread with the vocals. So let's see if this rings a bell. So of course we got the Final Fantasy. So this is in the middle of the Nico Douga. It's like, what is that song? Of course, we still got the Final Fantasy overlaid on that right now. The Prince. Okay, I just had to do it all. If y'all know that stuff like Nico melody, you're gonna see it all the time, and it's once it gets in your head, you'll hear it forever. So again, the original one was uploaded then. But what exactly is Akiba-Pop? What are they known for? So they would definitely mostly go under denpa music. Now, denpa as sort of like a genre can be different, like different types of media, but this specifically with denpa music, we're going to use from Right Here Music is the underground Japanese pop genre. It aims to be bizarre, extremely catchy, using off-key vocals, strange or nonsensical lyrics, repetitive chants, onomatopoeia, elements of drama, and frantic off-kilter production. Mostly it's moe denpa, so it's like moe anime song, moe pop, or as it is coined by Mosaic.WAV, Akiba-Pop, which funnily enough, from the Mosaic.WAV's actual website, they have this in English, sort of describing about Akiba-Pop and characterizing it by the reference of, you know, anime and games and virtual characters that you're referencing in the music and being a celebration, as well as sort of coining a little logo that's actually for use. Now, as far as other denpa artists that you may be interested in and you may already know of, such as, of course, IOSYS, who does a lot of the stuff in the Toho Doujin music, or Momo Clover Z, or Under 17, which, remember that because Under 17 is gonna come back again later in a little bit. All right, so of course we've gone through some of the, especially within the Western audience, more of the notable ones that you've either heard recently or maybe you heard a long time ago and you're like, okay, that was saying. But what was the first one? So officially, like the official CD came out in 2004, but the first thing ever that these two got was a by 2003 of magical actor Kururun. Kurururisk. So of course this is just sort of like a sample. We're probably just gonna be sampling a lot of songs. I'm not gonna play a lot like all in there, but I'm just gonna go and just sort of, you know, just play a little to get a idea of what their music was at a time to go through. So this is literally their first thing all the way back in 2003, which is wild. And oh my gosh. So they've, again, been out here for a while. So now a lot of what I'm going to be referencing is actually from Nico did a history of Mosaic.WAV video. So anything that has this sort of background, that is this background like slideshow that has like this, like with the 2003 or the 2004, that is going to be from her presentation, and I will go and link that in the VOD as well. So that actually helped me a lot. Surprisingly, it only has like 400 views, which is crazy, and she has under 1,000 views despite being such an instrumental part of the early anime and denpa music scene and to today. So of course, they're to go and release a whole album where you get a lot of different things. One of the most notable things that you're going to be seeing a lot here is the We Love Akiba-Pop. Now that is going to be seen a lot. You're going to see a good amount of derivatives of that pop up. So we've seen they got a whole lot of different types of music, you know, referencing anime and games and just otaku culture in general while being a celebration of it. So as I said, one of their most notable albums, of course, like within especially these beginning stage, is We Love Akiba-Pop. So this is sort of like We Love Akiba-Pop, the song itself. Just to give you a little sample. Yeah, so again, a lot of denpa. It's going to be nonsensical. It's going to be super cutesy, high-pitched, especially within the moe song, Akiba-Pop type of variant. And as you can probably tell, a lot of it is going to be in rhythm games. You're going to see a lot of rhythm game mentions in this presentation as we sort of talk about it. Even some more things that aren't already in there. So that was definitely, and also another thing is a lot of the things, especially these screenshots from the tracklist, are going to be from VGMDB, which is Video Game Music Database. They are super really great for anime song as well when you're trying to find the sources of like who's composed this thing, or like who happened to like sing the song, who did the character art jacket. This is something I use a whole lot in my research and just general curiosity when it comes to finding these things. So actually, so Mosaic.WAV is actually very much known as a eroge or erotic game, usually within the style of a visual novel, though not necessarily always, opening unit, especially within the early 2000s. So we've got a few different ones. One of the earlier ones that got Look at Me Tenderly, I unfortunately cannot show the image of that title. But this is one of their first, like, erotic game type openings. And the thing is, like, these sound like really good, like, early 2000s anime openings. Like, there's nothing, like, out of the ordinary. But the thing is, so much eroge has such good openings. Like, this can go, you're not like, oh, this is a porn game. This is a porn. Oh, by the way, this is probably going to be pretty 18 and up if you have not already got that already. And then, of course, here's another one that you can't actually show, where you're a security traffic officer and you run into some lovely police girl. So, of course, a lot of these things, even from 2005, are sort of like remastered in some of the song collections. Some of the original recordings are preserved better than others as far as availability. But these are just some of the original things from all the way in 2005. Now, I wasn't really on the internet during this time, so this is more so me, like, looking back. It's not really just, like, primary memories. Okay, so Hiroki Hiro, who draws some stuff, did the illustration together one, and he also did the design of the jacket here for the title, How Many Terabytes Do You Have? Which is about exactly what you're probably thinking. It's, again, a lot of denpa and Akiba core. It is very unapologetic. It is very subversive, and there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I feel like it is definitely worth talking about and having dialogues, which is really fun. Yeah, so this is one of their, and one of the artists actually is my boy Pomu Rainpuff. Now, you probably have seen Pomu Rainpuff's work. Like, he is very iconic as a character designer. Did a lot of work for the Monogatari series, and as well as like the Risaya. You've seen a lot of these types of things with this moe style. He's a character. And has done a lot more stuff with Mosaic.WAV's different works throughout the year. But I'm just going to recommend the Punipoyo rabbit hole video that I found within my research, because I've always been a fan of Punipoyo's work. But this was definitely, it was a time. It was a time. But yes, how many terabytes you have? Like, it's just that upfront about what they're doing. And you know how I mentioned under 17? Well, there's a little Nico here that mentions what they have with here, a Mr. Mosaic that you see there, which is actually part of also the legendary unit, generally also within denpa, under 17 with Haruka Momoe. I probably said her name wrong. But this is an absolute, if you do not know under 17, it is, as far as denpa, Akiba-Pop, just early anime legendary units. And so we got some more things on that album. There was also some other selection right here. We're probably gonna have a lot more, like, sample of music in the beginning, especially since there's less. And then as you get into further, we're probably going to have a little bit less as we go along. So again, these slides are very, very nicely provided by Nico herself. 2006. So this big album right here, Space Akiba-Pop, that had two ones that have gotten a lot of derivative works. Now we're going to be starting with that sort of talk, which is my ball game, my favorite thing. Especially within Love Cheat and Space.WAV Akiba-Pop. Now, Love Cheat is one of the early 2007 Nico Douga, like, mad, like a type of like AV style parody derivative even before, like, within the same era of Gacha Q. But so first off, about the Space Wave, funnily enough, AZKi actually does a lot. AZKi of Hololive does a lot of Mosaic.WAV songs, and this one she actually did with Polka, for example. So this is one of their earliest songs. Obviously, this is not done in 2006, but it is from 2006. So she did that actually with AZKi. And I highly recommend checking out its 2022 views, which is another thing that I do want to continue talking about, is how we preserve this, is we keep talking about it, we make presentations, we make these derivative works like AZKi and Polka did here, in order to have this music from 2006 that had so much inspiration on the anime scene to today to really persevere that energy of unique, fringe, and free. So that's just one of them. The other one is Love Cheat, which is from a eroge opening that actually has mahjong in it. I was like, wow, you can play mahjong in this erotic game. And it's about, like, you know, like keeping your restaurant open in these trying times, and honestly valid. You gotta do what you want to do. So this is sort of like the beginning of the MV. So there's a lot of different mads of erotic games openings within the early days of Nico Douga that I'm sure have made its way to YouTube, and even a lot of different people within the Western scene have seen re-uploads of these types of videos before. So let's take a look at the early Love Cheat. So I don't personally remember Love Cheat from back in my day, but I'm sure a few of you do. Let's see. Let's skip to. Yeah, so this is sort of like the general, like, early one, and then they would make different deviations and derivatives, just manipulating, like, the visuals or the sound to different types of characters of what they're doing. So it's not just introducing these eroge characters who play mahjong. They're doing things like they're gonna have Marissa from Toho, they're gonna have Lucky Star, they're gonna have Idolmaster. The angry German kid one is pretty great. That's really funny. So all these are from Nico Douga. They're gonna be, I actually got from Know Your Meme. Know Your Meme has some pretty good Nico archival things as well. Also welcome, except for Deputy Young Godzuki and everyone coming to the classroom. But as we talk about that, what is a Nico Douga? Why do I keep saying that terminology? So it's a popular, well, used to be, and now it's sort of getting a revival. It's complicated. Video sharing website in Japan, created in 2006, managed by Niwago, subsidiary Jowago. It's nicknamed Nico. Pretty much was the big three of Toho, Vocaloid, and Idolmaster. So you could say like a 2010 golden age of Vocaloid, and mostly came from this website in different derivative works. Probably your Oshi originated, if they're Japanese or even not, originated on this site probably 10, 15, 20 years ago. Well, not 20 years ago. As on this site, just really honing their craft. There's a lot of different discourse and just dialogue to have within this sort of sector, especially within Vocaloid, but that is for another video. So this is just another fun thing, derivative that I found for Love Cheat, is there's an orchestra there's a lot of niche eroge openings, and it's sort of beautiful, man. It's just like you got this Love Cheat. I thought that you were doing like something from like Draku Riot, and I'm like, and it's a whole orchestra. I'm like, of course there would be weeds like going out here, like all of these people playing their instruments to their erotic game openings, like niche ones especially. They're called the Autumn Leaf Orchestra. They have the videos up on YouTube, and it's just really neat. it's just sort of like a really cool extra derivative work I found. And it's a whole rabbit hole that I had no idea about before. So, you may see this. Do you remember this? Yeah, y'all remember seeing Fumoko's 3D live? You remember this? This is also by Mosaic.WAV originally. Yeah, eroge music slaps hard. This one particularly isn't from eroge, it's from an anime that Mosaic.WAV started to do called Sumo Momo. So this is by originally Mosaic.WAV, not necessarily a eroge, but I've definitely heard Fumoko mention a lot of eroge stuff in the past, so there's a lot of like overlap. Yeah, there is orchestral covers of a bunch of erotic game openings, and I feel like that's beautiful. So for example, Saikyo Maribatsu. I would say Sumo Momo is something I've seen before. I've seen the art, I know of it. I've never actually seen the anime though, so I can't really talk about that. But yeah, so Fuamoko like referenced and did a cover of one of the songs from 2006 all the way back into the present, and that's why like Hololive and Vtubers are making it so like these iconic songs from our day and age are archived and taken in new skins and preserved for the youth and the education to come. You know, I've seen Chi before, rubbing those hands. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Okay, so yeah, no, rubbing these hands. Like, yo, she is ready to roll. She is ready to beat someone up, and I love that for her. Another note on derivative work. So this is for Mosaic.WAV, a bunch of different denpa, Akiba-Pop. If y'all haven't heard of Dear Stage is going to be both the like location as well as a brand label of like Denpagumi Inc. Nijino Conquistador, which you may know from Triangle Dreamer, that have been covered by a lot of VTuber idols. So Dear Stage, especially their YouTube, does a lot of different recorded performances of things available. Now there's a lot usually of rules against actually recording yourself in Dear Stage. I really want to go myself, but they do have a lot of different performance archived on their YouTube channel. So not only this song of Saikyo Maribatsu, Keikaku, they have a lot of different other ones if you want to go and check them out, especially if you're really into Pomu Rainpuff, if you're really into Fuamoko, if you're really, yeah, those two especially have gotten a lot of stuff from Mosaic.WAV and just general denpa in general that I feel like you would definitely get a lot out of. Plus the girls are super cute, and it's sort of just like it's all like a passion of love, really. So this surprised me, actually. Momote Lollipop. Okay. I read the manga to this. Back in the day, which is wild. It's like a shoujo manga, and you're like, oh, they did an anime adaptation, and also they did the ending was sort of new to me. So this is again like one of their earlier anime works, and it just sort of came as like a fun surprise for me as I'm sort of like going through all of this history and for this deep dive. And a lot with this deep dive is just me learning so many things. In that same year, they also did a bunch of course, other eroge openings. Now, 2006, pretty big year. We got from Hatsukano, we got Kisumimi. So these are just a few other of the openings. Of course, we get like again a lot of that more digital sound. Let's actually, okay, that's fine, but we're gonna not go through there. That should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so it's very, very digital sound. Yeah, so again, it can be a little yabai, but those are just some more examples of their earlier works within eroge. This is really fun. I didn't know about it. I mean, I sort of knew about it, but when I was looking into one of their older titles and their older albums, I was checked out Mega Day Nay, and I found a Flash Revolution video from 15 years ago. If anyone knows about Flash Revolution or played that, I feel like that's just sort of like a time. Of course, there's a lot of different Mosaic.WAV things in different rhythm games and different like online games and then in person. But like seeing one of these as one of the first things that come up in the YouTube results was just like my heart. It's just a product of a time and really shows how deep everything is. So I mentioned this before, Gacha Cute. Nico Melody, Kimiko Nico Douga. So of course it goes from the Final Fantasy into the Gacha Cute. So the eroge that it comes from actually is called Figure Mate. So basically it's like, you know, guy with a gacha machine and you know, cute girls come out basically. You get cute girls from the gacha. And it's a lot of double entendre. But this is another thing that I felt was really cool. This is from, it was published in 2008, but I believe it's from 2007, it says. Look at this. There's freaking 2 Heart cosplay. Look at Len, look at Kaito. God, this warms my heart so much. This warms my heart so much. Just people coming together in the early 2000s, otaku culture within Japan, seeing the Kimiko Nico Douga, and to be singing this part of Gacha Cute that has been so historically preferred within Kimiko Nico Douga. Yeah, cute girls from Gacha? Yeah, like look, they literally projected today's types of thing. And of course, there is a lot of different MADs or like parody remix with audio clips, creative secondary derivatives. Like you see a, like, you know, of the original, and then there's different other versions. Like you're gonna get some Billy Harrington, you're gonna get some Angry German Kid, you're gonna get like more normal things like Lucky Star, or even especially older memes like Umehara. Different fighting games has a whole thing. So this is an example of sort of like the sound. So it's not just like animation memes. It's a lot of different people using different techniques in order to do that. Yeah, like people just banding together over something they love is really precious to me, and to see that in the early 2000s to today and everything, and seeing how far we come in a way, and also like how we can get sort of back some of those cringe but free moments that we had in such an authentic way within our nerddom before everything became commercialized and mainstream. And don't get me wrong, I'm really happy that like everything is so much more accessible right now. But it's very different. It is, there's a lot of nuance, and I feel like it's important to have those types of dialogue. Oh yeah, I forgot Daigo used to play Guilty Gear. Yeah, there's a lot of Daigo memes, of course, back in the day of like younger Daigo and like different people from that scene, which is really interesting. Nico Douga, again, it's a whole derivative scene, even within just like the eroge openings and anime openings and NAS. It is a absolute rabbit hole, an absolute joy to go down. So I definitely enjoy it, as you can probably tell, and I really encourage you to, again, know your meme. Actually, is a pretty good resource for that, as far as like linking you and getting you a general gist of things. But anything I say, like, I could be like wrong on some things, or I may not be explaining everything correctly. This is just from my biased opinion, especially as someone who is grown up on the internet in West. So I highly recommend that you definitely do your own deep dive into anything that happens to be interested in you, and that goes for anything else I may say in the future as well. But another type of derivative from Gacha that you may be familiar with who the cover is by Sawtone, who did Confessions of a Rhyme Girl, recently blew up, or Magical Cure Love, the Miku songs that were really good. So this is sort of an example of the animation by Majin. So I feel like this had pretty good spread recently. It came out like a few years ago, I believe. I've definitely seen this like version from this cover on like TikTok and stuff to be used, and I feel like Vocaloid definitely does help within the derivative culture and context of pretty much anything. Fun fact: the producer thing is it's from Idolmaster, and fun fact: the reason why people are called Vocaloid P, why people have a E at the end of their name in Vocaloid fandom, is originating from the Idolmaster. Because, for example, if I say, you know, I'm Ritsuko P, that means I produced Ritsuko. My favorite Idolmaster girl is Ritsuko, which is true. Since we stand queens who do background work and then also do stuff on stage. She's who I wanna be. I do also like Mikoto. I do like Yukiho. I do like Miki. And I actually found some choreography for short form. I'm not quite sure who did the original, but this is me from like 2 years ago. This is literally me doing this, but like in a much shorter amount. Back from... I just like talking about niche otaku things. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have the bandwidth to go this far into everything. Yeah, so I reference like True to My Heart, which is another really big opening for eroge derivative that you see in ads for basically everything. But just introducing people to denpa, introducing people to Mosaic.WAV and Akiba-Pop, it's something that I really, really like and means a lot to me. So that's me from 2 years ago. Again, I'm not sure who did the original choreography. But I think, as I mentioned, it's sort of like a double entendre as far as a lot of eroge openings, and this is sort of like just like, oh no, you turn it that hard, it's gonna break. Gotcha cute little figurine. Ah yes, I'm gonna break a gotcha machine. Turn the handle gently. Kiss your coin, pat the case 3 times. I wonder what this could be referring to. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that. This is just another like fun like archival thing that I just saw, sort of a screenshot from a convention in 2010 that I felt was like, again, like the video quality and everything for this is just very telling of the times. And then in 2007, there was Momo Season 2 opening that they did, as well as some other albums. And then a really big album for them, which was Feature Fiction Akiba-Pop. So you're going to see this illustration likely a lot for their different things. One of them, Akiba-Pop The Future, I feel like is definitely one of the bigger ones that you're going to see around. And it has so much cool like imagery within the NB and their characters, and such intricacy that you don't just like see this sort of style as much before. And it has such a unique charm to it, and the love that goes through it within these. And like, obviously, you know, sometimes it's gonna be a little yabai or whatever, but like, it's just very cute. It's a very cute style. Again, I like Poyo's Rock's style a lot. He's a particular person, but Kant definitely got a lot of love from there. But here's just in 2008 we go to and get Amusement Pack. They start doing some performances. Meisaku Mailing Girl is one of the songs I actually remember growing up. This is sort of like, again, some of their other ones and of different types of songs that they're releasing on different CDs, be it as just at festivals or performing, as they're getting more and more work within 2008, including a anime called Kyoran Kazuku Niki, which I haven't heard of before this. I don't know if any of y'all heard this. It's sort of a banger though. It's like apparently about like a ragtag like family of some sort. I don't know. I just never. I don't think I've ever seen this. Like maybe I've seen the cat character, but other than that, it feels like something that I feel some people are like, oh, I saw that in like 3 parts on YouTube like 10 years ago. But I personally do not have much memory from that. It goes other performances. This is also where you may know Hearts Native that did a cover remix of the original of Miki Miko Nishite, which that is actually the version of that is in Project AZKi, as well as Superliminal, Akiba-Pop that we have. So first off, the Hearts Native, which is their sort of Vocaloid album that they put out. And so this is sort of like the Miki Miku Nishite. Yeah, you definitely probably heard this if you're in Vocaloid. It's one of the most iconic one. This is the version of Miki Miku Chiteru that they put in Project AZKi, which I remember seeing. Yeah, I haven't watched that before. So they are actually known as Mosaic.Tune when they do Vocaloid stuff, and there actually is a good amount of Vocaloid stuff, not only from 2009. I don't know if you recognize this. There's probably someone in the otaku community like me from back in the day who recognize this particular video of that, as well with the dance cover. I don't know, I just had like a visceral memory. I'm like, I remember that. But they've also done some other ones, and it's not always just like super high-pitched cutesy ones. If these happen to ring any memories, the one with 63k views does look familiar to me, as well as the 61k. So those may be, or Blue Jean. It's another thing to definitely explore, because they definitely didn't only use Miku within the Vocaloid works within their ones as well, which is cool. You gotta go to Anisama 2000 and Ave New, Moi Moi, Idolmaster, and more? Miss? Oh, Manderton, I am so jealous of you. I am so jealous. Ah! I was 10 years old then, though, so probably. But I also just, like, I crave the otaku denpa era of the early 2000s. Yeah, or even in my youth of the 2010s, and to have that sort of same passion and rawness in today's culture, because like that's where like most of my favorite things come, and thankfully we do see that peeking over in, as it has been mentioned a little bit within Vocaloid and everything, but it's not the same. It's not the same, but that's also why I'm talking about this stuff now, because it's important to have dialogues and find different things and have, so we can make a new renaissance of this type of genre and this type of community. Like I've already seen more with the dance community coming up. You got the Vocaloid community doing a little bit more of different things and having dialogue, of course, you know, like the whole like, oh, everything stays the same. I see the same dialogue that happened when, say, Sand Planet came out, and the sort of like discourse about that, and the clapbacks about that, about like, oh, everything's the same, everything's commercialized. And now it's like, oh, everything's just a short form TikTok, just bait and everything. And it's like, okay, so what are we going to do this about? What is good? Why do we create? What do we create for something to go viral? And so much during this time, it wasn't because of that. But the thing is, like, obviously to survive in this era of what the market wants is something you do need to keep in mind. And where do we find the balance as a creator, especially if you are doing that full time, is something to think about. So they actually also went to Japan Expo in France. So this is Miko and Kayomi. So when they are in Japan Expo France, which again, I wish I really could have gone. they did a interview, which is available on JM World, and sort of just also talking about like where they got the name being sort of like the mosaic of like church windows, actually as the inspiration. I mean, obviously we know what a WAV file is, mosaic, potentially reference to eroge, but I like that answer too. I like that answer too, and that's what they said in the interview. And how about, yo, like, people in Japan already think what we do is weird. I bet, like, here in France, extra weird, but glad to see, like, the anime scene again. And I really hope to see them perform in my lifetime, in real life, and go overseas, because that would be really cool. And especially with the reintroduction to Mosaic.WAV through Vtubers, I hope there is a demand and just an effort to get acts like Aveno and or people from those units to perform and speak and from in today's society. So this is again from Miko's presentation. We got the We Live Hearts Native animation, lots of different more Vocaloid events, different Nico Douga, and really historical moment within the Vocaloid community that continued on. One of the really fun things that I really like that for that same year, that if you look at the theory of the AKIBerse that Pomu Rainpuff did, it sort of reminds me of this sort of style where it combines sort of like the digital with the like real places in Akiba, which is really cool. I really love it and this general style. So these are all like different characters of them from Momosu Superluminal, and these are all available on their YouTube as well. It's just like, look at this! It's great! It's great! I really want to go to Akiba. I absolutely adore this sort of stuff. But the thing is, this sort of love of moe and denpa and Akiba-Pop hasn't always just been an Akiba. Because like this one, they literally did a song and dance cover of Momosu Superliminal at Fanime 2012. Yo, they did that, and they even did like a Haruka Momoi, like, celebration, like, anniversary celebration medley. Like, this stuff has been international, the love of denpa and moe, and it's just unfortunately not as around right now, and that goes for both the US scene as well as like, you know, the mainstream Japan scene of what type of things we have, or just general moe anime and the renaissance of that sort of a genre and music. So it's definitely, it's like these artists are still around. These little artists still are popping and popping somewhere, but it goes to us as people who are younger, people who are creating things in the internet as VTubers, and people performing to really preserve that type of media. So in 2011, they did Akiba-Pop Recollections, is a lot of their older stuff, and remastered within different performances, and did a lot of different arrangements on the World God Only Knows, which, if y'all know, actually is a it's an anime, or originally a manga. I'm actually really fond of it. Grew up reading it myself, about a guy who really loves like visual novels and dating sim eroge, but he has to go and like claim the hearts of real girls because the goddess thought like, oh, this guy's like the master like romance person, but it was just in game. So there's some banger music from World God Only Knows in general, and I highly recommend it. I didn't really get far in the anime, but I did get pretty far in the manga, and it is really fun. So not much in 2012. Again, a lot of the eroge mentioned, I'm not too familiar with myself, but we do got things like Nanamai Pasca o Dice o Furunai. Again, I'm probably going to be talking and like saying things incorrectly. like within different doujin works. I feel like with me, and a lot of reason why I wanted to do this is gosh, I just know a lot of like random niche things. But I don't know a lot of the deep dive. Like, I wasn't like in the trenches. I just know a little bit of it, of like different things within it. And I'm like, I've never heard of Naname Pascal Woldice Wolfhood and I've never seen these, like this show for the Mosaic.WAV Planet Akiba-Pop that was going on right there. And it's really just something that I just really love like learning about as I'm making this presentation, because it's like, oh, well, I know Gacha. I know, like, you know, a few of their singles and stuff, but that's all I really know as an outsider before that. You catch up on the show? It's really so good. Ayo! Yeah, no, it's, there's a lot of different things from there, which is really cool. And then 2013, we got the 10th anniversary album. We got Akiba-Pop Winter, lots of different shows. Funnily enough, they actually do a character song from Sayaka Mozono for Danganronpa, who is the super high school level idol. So I'm like, oh, that's fitting. And then now and move on. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of different like music of different things within rhythm games. Believe Nanami was about gacha raids and apps are very dangerous, so it doesn't roll the dice. Yo, honestly, valid. Again, I've never heard of this before, but you know what? You gotta go and do that. You gotta go and stop yourself from rolling the gacha before you lose yourself to that, because that's good. That's good. So we got the 10th anniversary live. So these are some of the live photos from 2014 that they have from performing, which again, it's like in these like small venues, and you see the Nico Douga live stream in the back. People are clapping like pachi pachi, like a doing sort of like the clapping of Nico Doko, like within that culture. And I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. I'm so jealous of people who were there and like were around that sort of thing back in the day. But also, if you didn't know, they actually worked on the Gakkou Gurashi school live soundtrack, which is pretty well known, I would say. It's an anime that I will say, if you don't know what it's about, go into it blind. It's blind, and I'm not going to say anything else. Looks fun. It is fun. Just go and I'm not going to say anything else. Just looks fun. School live, Gakkou Gurashi. Do not read any synopsis. Just go in. It's a fun time. It's a good time. It's very cute. So during 2015, they collaborated, of course, you're going to see this different collaboration works within different CDs with IOSYS, who of course did a lot of Toho Dojin, that stuff that like Chrono's Perfect Math Class, that is going to be iconic within our time. But yeah, it's a good time. Adam B knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, just go into School Live, Gakkou Gurashi, like just go in. It's good. Don't look at anything. It's a fun time. So within that 2015, they did again some stuff for School Live. They did a few other of the different like denpa collections and soundtracks. And then 2016 came up, and you're gonna see Sumiya Uesaka, who is a pretty well-known seiyuu, work a lot with Mosaic.WAV on her album songs. You're gonna see the name come up a lot. So there's been different things like Hyper Denpa Festival. Sometimes denpa, like the music is gonna be spelled with like DEMPA. Sometimes it's gonna be DNPA. You're gonna see it as different things. I don't know if there's really a difference. I again see it most. If anyone knows, do let me know though. Because it's not something I was again on the ground floor for. And in addition to School Live CDs coming up within that time, there's a bunch of other different things, like working on different things in the Seishun Bunny Girl series. Or the Clock Up Vocal Collection. God, I clicked the Clock Up Vocal Collection, and to see like the girls from Euphoria in like concert singing outfits was such a shock. But then I realized like the OP sort of does go hard to that. So like even the most degenerate things in eroge, like banger opes, banger openings, like the music is so good. Like whether something is like good or whether it's degen, like you gotta admit the music is pretty poppin'. God, speaking of Euphoria, I remember when it got really big in the US, and I thought it was that Euphoria that eroge was referring to. I was very confused, me as a high schooler, but it was not. But anyways, tangent aside, 2007 Refirst Live, we live Akiba-Pop. So they got a lot of things coming out here, especially within the rhythm game sort of sphere within Unithem. You got different types of like Hatsune Miku compilation album. You got another Sume Uesaka different things, as well as different types of, like, again, eroge, anison. You're gonna be seeing a lot more, so it's a little harder to like give a proper highlight on those. So I'm just giving you the different things. 2018, you got a few things like Yumemi Matsuri that they participate in and release Miracle Liminal Akiba-Pop, the album from that. And then 2019, you go and more lives are happening as well that they're going to be doing with a 15-year anniversary live. Again, these musicians have been going on absolutely forever. They have been here from the start, and they are still trucking on 2019. Of course, then the lockdown happened, and people needed to shift as well as Mosaic.WAV. And that is why, in addition to the game song collection coming out, we have Mosaic VR that regularly participate in VKet, which is sort of like a virtual music festival, and have generally had their online personas within the virtual world, especially within Nico and her YouTube presence, as well as the duo, as well as others within different virtual concerts within VR chat, actually. So that's something I did not know, that was sort of like their big thing right now, of how they present themselves as Mosaic.WAV. It is a lot within VR chat. And of course, that started within 2020, because obviously that's sort of the only thing you can do when everything in the world is done. So they do that presently within VKet and VR Market. Another thing within 2020 that I found very amusing was they did help work on a little bit of the music video that had Beat Mario, who's a VTuber and producer from IOYS. He is what we call a Baby Nico, which is he's on the left right there, and it's sort of just like a guy who like does not disguise his voice or anything, but uses a female avatar, and it's pretty iconic. But it's sort of like, this is one of the things I found when I was just sort of like scrolling through like their older things. It's sort of like, oh, they collabed on a thing with Beat Mario, cool. And you go to more VR chat shows. Yeah, VKet apparently just happened, and there were some big things. I know V4 Mirai were there. I know there was like a bunch of different anime and different like Vtubers too. And I really wish I went. I actually just tried VR for the first time ever recently from a friend's rig, and definitely want to check it out more, especially if I could catch a Mosaic.WAV show. So again, even though you had the pandemic, that is not going to go and slow them down. You got the different, of course, Sumire Uesaka coming in 2020. You got more of the different things from their different collection albums. AZKi, actually, that I mentioned before from Hololive. They did one of her album songs, as well as the Sumire Irisaka. And this is sort of just like a fun fact that I found very amusing, is they did an arrangement of the Kuroko's basketball theme in the Grand Radio, like, tribute album with Denpa Inc. And they actually have done something with Denpa Inc. is before too. Then Real VFest is going on right now in VR chat. No MOSAIC.WAV, they're a cool artist and VTuber. Yo, wait, Sanrio VFS is still going on? I gotta check that. I gotta hit up my friend's rig and go in. Though I know you technically don't need like the rig to go in VR chat, which I may do, but I need to get on that. Thank you so much, Miss Mandy-chan. I appreciate it. Again, like, a lot of what I know and like what I see is very surface level. So like getting reminders and hearing about that stuff makes me really happy. And speaking of AZKi, she actually did a whole MOSAIC.WAV karaoke about 4 years ago. So that is something to definitely look on if you want to get introduced, especially if you're a big AZKi fan, to a lot of the MOSAIC.WAV songs. She, as you can see, it's her old model, but I'll definitely check out this Sanrio VFest. Thank you so much, as well as I highly recommend y'all do too, because so much is in the VR chat world, and so many of my favorite artists are becoming, you know, like doing concerts there, and it's so much more than I thought it would, because I never got involved in that sort of world, and it does have so much, obviously, like overlap within VTubers and with anime, and especially old school style, and now we know directly with MOSAIC.WAV, so yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, no, this is a good karaoke to go to if you want just like to hear about some of the notable songs. And of course, it's AZKi. So if you want to go and search that up, I highly recommend it. 2021 Quiet Mosaic Live. So these are some more live shows. I really love that they have the different characters on, like, as the little heads in this photo. Like, look how cute that is. Look at these cuties. It is so precious. I love this, again, the moe art style. I love Polygon Rock. I love this old school moe style that even in 2021 we see and haven't seen as much, at least in the US. So again, thank you, Nico, who is the vocalist of MOSAIC.WAV, for especially providing these, like, from the like slides video of sort of like the history of MOSAIC.WAV that I was able to sort of like get extra information of, in addition to my own research and experiences and VGE from that. So there are more rhythm game installments like Ongeki, which is also a pretty well rhythm game. And then a bunch of other single selections and albums, some like Hallelujah, some stuff in Beatmania, some stuff in Groove Coaster 10th anniversary, Junior Theme, All Justice Collection. So next time you go to round one or wherever you may be, you're probably gonna find some MOSAIC.WAV music on there. So they sometimes have an entire section. This was sort of fun that I saw that I found very amusing. They did sort of like a sound collection for the manga of 16-bit Sensation, about sort of like making eroge, making visual novels back in the day, by the world God only knows mangaka, which funnily enough got an anime adaptation. The music wasn't done by MOSAIC.WAV, but it was like an AU type thing. Yeah, it was sort of weird. I enjoyed the beginning of it, but I never got more into it. But it definitely does reference a lot of the old school rage moe within the anime alternative universe adaptation. But that's just sort of like a fun thing that I found, that they worked on that, and it's very fitting that they worked on, you know, like a sound image of a manga that's sort of like about that sort of thing. Of course, by the world God only knows mangaka that I need to read myself, because that's definitely up my alley back in 2022. So I definitely want to check that out. In 2023, of course, we got another single selection, Volume 3 release, more Beat Mania. And we got another eroge sort of like album that we got from Ane Sumami Miwako no Osan. I can't even say One-san Love Life. As you could probably assume what that's going to be about. So they got a lot of different ones on that album, continuing even within the 2023 on that, and more in 2023 as well. I like shows that touch on the creation process in media, like games and anime, could be pretty interesting. Yeah, I would say Shiro Bako is really great for that. The most. New Game is also pretty good with it, but I feel like Shiro Bako is definitely my favorite of sort of like the touching in on the industry and the creative process from that. On the like sort of more doujin amateur side, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night is one of the more recent ones that I was really interested in and definitely have related to as a creative. And I highly recommend. It's really, really good. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. So in 2023, they also did some other idol works, including one of the songs on a Denpa Gumi album itself, One Nation Under Denpa. And 2023, this is again what a lot of the Western market is going to be more knowledgeable about when they think of Mosaic.WAV or just introduction and preservation, is the Fairy of AKIBerse from Pomu Rainpuff. So she actually originally released this in a 3D live in 2023, but the MV was delayed, mostly from what I understand, perms, which is sort of understandable because mixed media within Akihabara, and there was a lot of fan projects involved and different types of assets. Jellyfish was good. Oh, keep your hands off Azokin! Yes! Oh my gosh, I heard so many good things about that. I love the opening. It's so creative. It's so fun. I have yet to see it, but I really, really appreciate you mentioning that, Dev, because that is definitely something I really want to get back into watching, because I meant to watch it and I never did. And I feel like I gotta watch that this weekend, because that is definitely up my alley as far as the spirit of creating things, especially from scratch, and that spirit that so much of, like, again, the Moe, Denpa, Akiba-Pop, Mosaic.WAV captures within its own self in the beginning. Yeah, I highly recommend that too. It's pretty well acclaimed, definitely. So this, of course, is the Fairy of AKIBverse is from Pomu Rainpuff, is a lot of people's introduction within the Western sphere in the current era to Mosaic.WAV. There's a lot of things that I think I mentioned in some of the other MVs that they've referenced, especially with the cross media of both the beauty and then like the real place and Akiba from here. It's very cute because you got little Mito from Niji Sanji that I believe was actually someone that made Pomu want to as audition in the first place. She is pretty legendary idol, and this is actually Pomu's manager, I believe. And I remember she mentioned when this first came out that he tried to like work out, so just in case people thought that he was her, that he would make sure he had nice legs for that. So yeah, so that's sort of fun. Definitely is like a final send-off as Pomu like going back to the forest as a fairy. It was iconic. It was like, God, I need more of this in my life. It's just not the same. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, but what about blank? But it's not the same! Sorry if that was a little loud. I'm just like very, very passionate. Like, I like different VTubers for different reasons within their characters and what they preserve and stuff, but it's not the same to me. It's not the same. I'm a theater kid, to be fair. So I just take things very seriously, like kayfabe. Even though I don't subscribe to kayfabe myself, it's something I really, really respect, and I wanted to fully commit to someday. It isn't the same. It isn't the same. It is an experience. It is the moments of the passion in this house. And that's why I love Fuamoko so much, and what they do and everything, and what Pomu and everything. And we were like, oh, it's not the same. It's the same thing. No, it's not, because that's your memory of that character, of that moment. Because even as creators, everything that we put out of ourselves is a fictionalized, idealized version of ourselves. Even though I don't commit to K-play super as a character because I post like my face and my cosplay, all y'all know is the best part of myself that I put forward, which is therefore an idealized, characterized, fictionalized concept that we all do. And of course, as VTubers, especially people who do really commit to kayfabe as their own character, that just is ramped up times 1,000. And that's why when everyone's like, oh, only it's but what about no? That being said, even though Pomu Rainpuff is no more, we still see different things within denpa, within Akiba-Pop, within the spirit of love, within the otaku spirit of maids forever. Like, Pomu is Pomu. Pomu is Pomu, and Pomu has Pomufication everywhere. Admittedly, I didn't watch her as much as I probably should have back in the day, and now I just mostly go to VODs, but like, I appreciate that. And I appreciate other VTubers for who they are as well, but she was someone special, and really, especially within Multigay and getting called in the mix. I know when the standard mix was called like the Pomu chant. Like, that's how much impact she had, and obviously, people have learned about Multigay and Colin Mix from her. Yeah, we're all Pomu. We are all Pomu. She had so much impact, and it continues to today. And this song and Mosaic.WAV are two things that are very intrinsically into the Western VTuber culture. And I am so grateful that she was a part of that, both through her entire streaming career and especially and when she was doing more informational guides. She did a really great idol karaoke with Maria, which, if you are not already in watching Maria Marionette, is sort of like the idol otaku successor to Pomu, like sort of keeping that. So definitely, if you are not watching Maria Marionette, she is a very passionate idol of Niji-sanji En and is absolutely precious and hardworking. So if you like Pomu, I would definitely check out Maria. She does a lot of like at-home cafe covers and different types of idols and has that same spirit and is precious, but it's not the same as Pomu. It's not the same as Pomu. It will never be the same, but now we look through these aspects in other creators that we want to see within ourselves and within the future of where we stand. And our passions and the depictions of thereof. We are all Pomu. Pomu's uniquely Pomu. She was more than just a fairy. She became an experience. You too are Pomu if you believe in your heart. Exactly. Exactly. And so much of her message is to be your unique otaku self. To be free. You are Pomu. And to be cringe and free and unapologetic about who you are. That was so much a message of Fairy of AKIBerse and like what she's really giving to us moving forward into the present, even though she may not be currently right up. Yeah, cozy late night streams, have catch her streaming, her vibes, everything. It really is important, and I'm really glad that about the time spent with us within as otaku and as someone who's been obviously very much ingrained in the culture. So. Thank you, Pomu! Alright. On the VTuber sphere. Okay, y'all, I found this really great VTuber who doesn't have many views, who did an original song with Mosaic.WAV. I've never heard of her. Here, I'm gonna play it because it's sort of a banger. Okay, this is not. But yeah, like a lot of stuff of what Mosaic.WAV has done, I found through their like website as well, in addition to Miku's video. But yeah, just finding different VTubers. They actually did another VTuber or a song recently who I can't remember who I think is a little lesser known. Like, look at the little cats that you would see in Nico. Like, this sort of preservation of the culture and like the unapologeticness makes me really happy. Like, from Pomu and beyond, I believe it's Susanoo, or Susanoo Norina, I believe. I may not have gotten that correctly, but I definitely highly check out her because she seems so precious, and it's definitely of that same vibes of everything. Like, you see all the different eroge and like good different references to different like Nico like trends and different things, and it means so much to me to see this like even more recently within 2023. Another thing, like when you see like some of her covers and stuff, like from like the Capo, and you got like from Hendeko and Haruhi, and like all these different things, in addition to the Ori song from a year ago that you see preserved is the Japanese VTuber too. So that was sort of like within my deep dive. I'm like, oh, cool! Like, it's not just Pomu. There's like other VTubers that Mosaic.WAV have been like collaborating with and making original songs with. That I found really cool. So 2024 did a memorial live 20th anniversary. Again, 20th anniversary, 20 years they've been alive, making music, releasing CDs as Mosaic.WAV, and that is just phenomenal. That is so beautiful of the passion and dedication that you go towards love of Akihabara. I know I hear about people who say how Akihabara has changed within the years, about how it's not like it's culture anymore, if it's not, or I'll go to AKIBerse instead if you want like more anime stuff. But there is definitely people within these cultures who are trying to keep the spirit of Akiba within the original time alive within his otaku spirit. And again, as someone who has only just seen people talk about stuff like this, hasn't ever been to Akiba, has always wanted to go to Akiba since I was a preteen, because I love Moe, I love Akiba-Pop, I love denpa. It's really great to see within these spaces people be able to do it. Of course, it's how we talk about it online and we spread its influence as VTubers, as streamers, as fans to other people to get this along. Again, this original PowerPoint that Nico did that I am taking from and referencing, only about 400 views about the history of Mosaic.WAV. He has under 1,000 subscribers. Nico, the legendary denpa vocalist on YouTube. So currently, what do we do as people who want to preserve this, who want to see Mosaic.WAV reach other people? So first off, Nico, who is a vocalist, she has a YouTube channel where a lot of what they're doing in different releases, such as coming of age, XX Akiba-Pop, and of course the history video and different types of 3D VR concerts and shorts and streams, are on the Nico channel. That is Nico2. And then, of course, we have Mosaic.WAV as their own channel right here that continues more of their VR concerts and different things within that, which again only has 11.6K, which is very surprising given the influence and general popularity of them. But again, it's just like not... I didn't know that they did VR stuff now. I didn't know what they were making other than, obviously, when they came up on the Pomu thing. Now I do, because I did all this research because I wanted to get to know it. And I'm sure a lot of people who are super deep into Akiba-Pop and denpa probably know that. But within your average consumer who, even like me, like has like a interest in getting into this but isn't going to be seeing all the new updates constantly, it's important to like be updated on these things. Which is also like reminding your friends about things like that too. Like, oh, did you know that they're actually like still active? And stuff like that. So I feel like it's just very important and it's very precious to preserve that sort of culture and keep talking about them. Keep talking about them. Cover them if you're YouTube. or cover dances, go and cover songs, go and make your own Akiba-Pop, go and make these make a video essay, make a random PowerPoint that you spend a lot of time on just because you want to learn more things about it and just talk about things that you like, because that's how you get more of this. They also do have a Twitter account, which again only has like 9,000, which comparatively to what they do and who they are seems like very low. It does also they are going to update it like pretty regularly, especially boosting like if you happen to do like a cover of Mosaic.WAV like Gacha Cute, or you do something else. You see a lot of different people going and like retweeting and seeing different things within it. Like, you're really cool. I really want to, God, it would be so cool to like work with them on something someday. A lot of what I've been doing when I've been making this sort of presentation is thinking like, okay, what do we want to do other than talking about this and making this presentation through this? Is I'm like, I would love to like sing it. I would love to perform it, especially in the US as Moe. Yeah, the social media game is hard and criminally underfollowed. I feel like it's, again, one of those things where, like, they were so well known, like, back in the day before the social platforms became well known, and perhaps, like, that sort of era of people don't think, oh, I should follow them on this platform. They perhaps associate with them. With like an older time within the internet, when they're just as active, they're just as funky and cool and making new things within that like sharing these different things is important. Yeah, don't let dreams be dreams. Believe the spread it. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, how can I spread this? And I'm like, I enjoyed making this presentation a lot. I really enjoy doing the research, but I'm like, what do I want to do as an otaku? What do I want to do to spread my love of this sort of stuff? And I love yapping about this. I love doing streams like this. I'm going to be doing a lot more streams like this, but it is like also a lot of time, and I want to be an idol, man. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but or what form I'm going to take, but I want to be able to do stuff like this to preserve this beautiful, beautiful art form of denpa, of Akiba-Pop, and the love of otaku culture. Also, more so talking about the present, Laplace actually did a duet on March 7th of one of their songs, again talking about how it's doing these covers, creating these songs within this type of genre that is going to get people to know about it. So in addition to AZKi, in addition to Polka, we got Laplace recently covering one of theirs. One of their song is Boy Meets Sugar, which actually there's going to be a VR Light. So they're actually a unit that was inspired by one of their songs. So this is a Born from Mosaic.WAV song, Boy Meets Sugar. This duo formed a VR pop unit. So they're actually going to be going and debuting live on March 23rd with the lead song. So it's like, I love stuff like this. I love this random derivative words that you just happen to find through Google Translate or just through Twitter, and they're sharing throughout this community, which is really, really special, really special. Like, a lot of things when you see like bigger artists, of course, like not use social media or interact as much, but again, guys have been going on 20 years, more than 20 years now, and they're still just as passionate about what they do. And I feel like as fans, we need to show that same passion to them and through it to other fans. And I feel like it's just because there are so many different things out there, it does become a little convoluted, but we need to go and use our power and within our joy and really be able to harness it within that power. So that's mostly the whole gist of what I wanted to sort of talk about. Like, again, like when I started researching for this, I only pretty much knew they did Pomu's song, they did Gacha Cute. I know I heard a lot of some random denpa singles on YouTube, and that was about it that I knew from Mosaic.WAV. And I'm really, really grateful that I took down this time to go and learn about it, because there is so much that is underappreciated and underutilized that has so much more to make derivatives of, to like really take a harness. And I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you so much for joining me. I definitely will be doing a lot more deep dives. I don't know exactly if they're gonna be this deep, as well as convention recaps and other otaku things and dance covers, and again trying for the idol stuff, just because I really love it and because I love this stuff, and I don't know exactly what type of way I want to express my love for this. I like, obviously I'm doing this right now, and I'm still gonna just probably try a lot of different things, but I know my content is going to be at the heart otaku and love for that sort of heisei era moe that I grew up with, and putting that to the future. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you want to follow me on that journey. Again, I have no idea what sort of form exactly that's going to be taking, but I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.